Hello, this is literally Majora. You can call me Majora if you want, but my real name is Benny. I'm sure you've noticed that it looks slightly different today. I decided to add these little gradient bars on the side just to make the video image wider. Video image? What? I made it wider! Unfortunately, I recorded Monday's video in September, so it's gonna look ugly. This one's gonna look a little bit better. Today is a very special how this thing changed my life. I kind of wanted to hold on to this video idea for a little while. I'm not really sure why though. I think I was just waiting for the perfect time to upload this. And since Bohemian Rhapsody comes out on the day that I'm uploading this, there's probably no better time than right now. In case you didn't already get it from the title and, the mention of the movie, this is how Queen changed my life. So when I was younger, my means of listening to music was pretty limited. My mom exclusively played Christian radio stations. My friends, well, they had their own music tastes and we only ever listened to what they liked. So going anywhere with Harry meant we listened to Avril Lavigne or just other pop music, and hanging out with Hermione meant Green Day. Because of that, most Green Day songs make me super nostalgic and they make me want to play Mario Kart 64. Sometimes I would get to go places with my sister and she would play country music in the car. I'm not very fond of country. That all changed when I got my own laptop when I was 12 for Christmas. Up until then, the 4 members of my household shared one desktop computer and it didn't really run very well. My brother illegally downloaded a bunch of music and it got several viruses over the years. Of course, my laptop was supposed to be for school, but that's not all I used it for. I would play Neopets, Webkins, Pop Tropica, Girl Sense. Does anybody else remember Girl Sense? I'm so sad that it went under. My favorite thing to do, though, was to pull up YouTube in a second tab from whatever else I was doing and use it to listen to music. By the time I had my computer, Just Dance 1 had already come out, which meant that I was already really into Blondie, and I started listening to Britney Spears at about the same time. From there, I moved on to Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and Nicki Minaj. I actually know every single word of Roman's Revenge, although there are like 3 words in there that I don't say, particularly because one of them is the F slur, and while I may be gay, I'm not reclaiming that. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. One day, my mom pulled up this video for me to watch because she thought it was really funny. It was the Muppets singing a parody/cover of Bohemian Rhapsody. I'd heard the original a handful of times. It's pretty hard to exist and not hear at least 1 or 2 of Queen's hits at some point. Everybody's heard Somebody to Love, Bohemian Rhapsody, We Are the Champions, another one Bites the Dust, and a lot of people have listened to Killer Queen. But for some reason, that dumb Muppets video was just like the thing that made me want to go listen to Bohemian Rhapsody. The next thing I knew, I was compiling a playlist of every Queen song in order. At the time, my favorite album was Queen 1, but lately I've been leaning a little bit more towards Sheer Heart Attack and Innuendo. The difficult thing about making my playlist at that time was that a lot of Queen officials' music videos were region locked. So I couldn't find several videos for several songs, and some of them I couldn't even find like fan-uploaded lyric videos. I specifically could never find Somebody to Love. And sometimes I'd have a video that worked, and then a week later it was banned from the US for some reason. I'm glad that's not the case anymore because my current playlist is almost entirely Queen official. For some reason, when I started listening to Queen, I developed a really bad habit that I have yet to break. I'm trying to, especially with this whole YouTube thing, but for some reason, I just started keeping all of my interests to myself. I didn't tell my friends, I didn't tell my parents, I didn't tell my siblings, I didn't tell my cousins, I did not tell anyone anything new that I started liking. As a result, my whole family knows next to nothing about me. And if you know things about me, you're like one of my 2 closest friends. I think it may have started when I found out that Freddie was attracted to men. I know that a lot of people will say that Freddie was bi, but because he's not here to label himself, I'm not going to try to do it for him. I do think that he had some sort of attraction to women. I mean, he had a longtime girlfriend, but he also wasn't straight, so. As I've said a lot, I grew up super religious, so being attracted to the same gender was something that was already drilled into my head as being horrible. I didn't want my parents to know that I admired someone who wasn't straight. I was scared that it would get me in trouble and that it would get something that I loved taken away from me. Now, it's like I don't know how to tell my family anything about myself because I'm always scared that somehow it'll lead back to things being taken away. My Queen obsession only grew as I kept adding to my playlist. Suddenly, I was watching any interview I could find and reading every article and memorizing some of them. No, I don't remember anything that I memorized. It's been like 7 years. So little by this point, 13-year-old me didn't really know what to think. If being gay was bad, how could someone so good be attracted to men? And how could someone who was supposed to be just evil bring so much joy to so many people? Meanwhile, I'm also starting to figure some things out about myself. I pay a little too much attention to Rihanna, and not just because I like her music. I like looking at girls a little too much, and I have too intense feelings for my middle school best friend. I had a list, which I never wrote down, but I still remember everybody that was on it. The list was called, "I'm not gay, but if these women wanted me, they could have me." Number 1 on the list was Rihanna. She still is. Honestly, I just want Rihanna to murder me. So I had to kind of reconcile all of this. Did I think Freddie was a bad person? Did I think I was a bad person? I thought I was a good person. Now I describe myself as morally ambiguous at best. So then I started hiding things for a different reason. I knew that I associated myself being gay. I'm pan actually, but I wouldn't learn that word until like 3 or 4 years later, with Queen. So talking about liking Queen meant talking about being gay, which was definitely not something I wanted to have happen. Recently though, I just realized that that wasn't gonna be a problem. Like, I am allowed to have music taste, you know? Like, that doesn't have to be an indication of who I am. So I basically just decided to announce that I like Queen. The way I did this, I was going to be on a long road trip with my dad, and I asked if I could pick the music, and he said sure. So I plugged in my phone, and we started with Queen 1, and by the time we got to where we were going, we had finished Made in Heaven. Now, I feel more comfortable talking about it. I feel like I'm allowed to buy merchandise and openly sing along to my favorite songs. Although I will say that listening to Hot Space with my dad was a little awkward. Fun fact that's only slightly related to this video, every verse in the Bible that says that homosexuality is a sin is a purposeful mistranslation. You can Google more on that yourself. You know, I had no idea that one Muppets video was going to change my entire life. I didn't know where to fit the rest of this, so I'm just kind of tacking it on at the end. My favorite member of Queen is Roger Taylor, and a lot of my favorite songs are either sung by him or he sings backup on them. My favorite song used to be Killer Queen, and I still like it a lot, although now I'd say Tenement Funster or Flick of the Wrist is my favorite. Some other close contenders are My Fairy King, Innuendo, March of the Black Queen, and Body Language. Although, Bohemian Rhapsody will always be my first. Like I said at the beginning of this video, Monday's video is going to be the old format visually. I honestly just don't want to redo it, is all. I may actually be going to 3 videos a week, by the way. I'm going to test it out for the month of November. I'm not going to tell you what the significance of the month of November is, but you'll find out on Wednesday if I do decide to go with 3 videos a week. Thanks for listening. Bye.